A massive thank you to Co-Racing Mix, Julian, Infamous SMG, Alicia Hosbro, and Patty Fong for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these little clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video, where today we're here back with round 12 of Season 2 of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Of course, yes, we're back once more for the Italian Grand Prix. But before we dive into that, though, we've actually got to go through the contract renewal with our teammate before, of course, we dive into this weekend. Then we are going to be keeping Schwartzman on to the end of the year. More and more of you guys are asking about whether I'm going to keep him for Season 3 or not. I'll be honest, at the moment, haven't personally decided still, so let me know down below whether you would like to see Schwartzman back in the car for next season. He's done alright for the most part, you know, he's had quite a lot of good weekends, quite a lot of mediocre weekends as well. But yeah, I'm really torn at the moment, so I'm probably going to leave it down to you guys to decide as well for us. But heading, though, towards the Italian Grand Prix this weekend, they see we have still got the singular, two upgrades, sorry, even in the works that should bring us back in line with Ferrari and Honda here. Williams, of course, with all those upgrades last weekend, hasn't seemed to have made much of a difference, though, to the overall pace of the car. But yeah, let's go into negotiations then with our teammate. Don't want to lowball him, of course, but I don't think we really want to be paying him 4.2 million if we can avoid it. So we're going to go with the medium risk approach. Yes, there we go. Schwartzman's back on board then, ready for the second half of the year then. Not too sure why his focus is so low as well, though. But we have still got 2.1 million in the bank as well. Don't think we can really do anything else to try and up that focus at the moment, of course. So yeah, we definitely we need the fitness center upgrades going on the car still at this stage of the year. We will get some training on, though. That should up his focus just a little bit. Let's dive in then to the Italian Grand Prix. So here we are then, ready at the Italian Grand Prix circuit then, for this weekend's Grand Prix. The Festival of Speed, the Temple of Speed, whatever you want to call it. We absolutely love coming back to this track, and unlike Zandvoort, this one should be a very good opportunity for us to hopefully try and bag quite a big result this weekend, of course. If you remember last season's race here, we had that titanic last lap three-way scrap for just, I think it was our second ever career points in this Grand Prix as well, though. That was mega fun last season as well. But yeah, fingers crossed we can keep that momentum up heading into this year's game, of course. Oh, into this season even, sorry, I should say. But yeah, this place has always been quite special in our heart. Of course, where we took our first win, I think, in the Williams Road to Gloria. If I want to say Williams, it might have even been the Haas, actually, all the way back on F1 2019. It's been a long while since those days as well, of course, on the channel. But yeah, lots of fond memories here. Heading out the final quarter, though, to complete our first run in the race simulation program. Yeah, nearly a second up. This one should be nice and easy.
So far, we're getting great data. Stay focused.
All about the top-end speed around here, of course, and on F1 2021, you do tend to have bags of it over the AI, just because they seem to run really weird downforce levels. Heading back through Ascari then for the final time, hopefully in this race simulation run, I must admit. I know Hamilton said this, I think it was all the way back in 2010. When you come to Monza, just watching that speedo keep climbing, it's just so much fun here. 220 miles an hour on entry to Ascari and turn 1 as well. They're in a car with this much downforce is certainly a sight to behold there. But 1.5 seconds up at the end of our final race simulation lap.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
You love to see it. Let's dive into another program, though. Right, ready then to start our tyre wear simulation run. Fingers crossed this should be a nice, easy purple score as well here at Monza. But yeah, just try not to get wheel spin out of the chicanes. And heading out the final corner, it is going to be another easy purple score there. Love to see it. I think it's time we dive into qualifying, which might be wet.
Program.
Well, like I said, rain had been predicted for qualifying here for the Italian Grand Prix, but heading out into Q1, sunny skies here at Monza. You love to see it here on F1 2021. So fingers crossed, you know, we can get out of Q1 nice and easily this weekend. Like I said, yeah, definitely feeling so much more confident in the car this time round. But this game has given us some nasty surprises before, and I'm sure it will do again in the future. Not the best line through turn 1, I'll be honest. A lot of curb, but it's like Le Mans. You got to take all the curbs around here. Maybe not that much though. Perez so far set an 18.2 as a benchmark in the Renault there. Bottas in the Williams though sets an 18.0, so as long as we're quicker than that, we should be pretty good there. Of course, Bottas made it into Q2 last weekend, and this again might be a track that Williams are quite strong at here in Season 2. But heading down in towards the final couple of corners, we've got our teammate Schwartzman just up the road. Maybe he'll go purple as well as we head out through the final turn down towards the line. What's our teammate going to do? He doesn't... Oh, no, Charles Leclerc was ahead of us, not our teammate. That's quite embarrassing. We set a 17.9, though, 7 tenths off the Ferrari. But that might be good enough for Q2. Oh, so end of Q1 then. Schwartzman and I both do sneak it through with just the one run apiece. But it was only just, actually, in the end there. Half a tenth ahead of Valtteri Bottas. But definitely feel like we got a lot more pace in the car, though. Haas really struggling, though, this weekend. Mick Schumacher a couple of tenths off anyone else. And Mazepin half a second off his teammate here. But, I mean, yeah, 7 tenths off fastest down in P16. Charles Leclerc's lap was good enough for fastest in Q1. Maybe, just maybe, Q3's doable here. We only need about another 2-3 tenths. Right, we're heading back out then into Q2. Now the team are predicting we go from a 3% chance of rain at the start of this session to a 35% chance by the end of it. So we might get some wet running there. Track temps are also going to drop. So I'm inclined to think if we do make it into Q3, we are going to get some intermediate running perhaps. But that might, again, give us a big opportunity trying to elevate ourselves up the order. Let's just try and get this first Q2 run in. Oh, very understeery through turn 1. Definitely tried not to cut the inside there, so decided to completely overshoot the first corner instead, however. Don't think it's really cost us much in comparison to our previous run. But yeah, this first lap's not good enough. We're probably going to have to go back out there rather quickly before the track starts to fall away from us. A lot of curb there. Avoid the second one though, that was pretty tidy. Big wobble heading out of the Ascara chicane there, but down towards the final couple of corners. Mercs are coming across the line, so hopefully we should get a good benchmark. Let's know what roughly we should be achieving here in Q2. Out of the final corner there, really try and use the AstroTurf on the exit there. Sonoda a 17.1. We are going to run a 17.9 again. So 2 laps of identical time. Oh, not identical, but pretty close. That's probably not going to be good enough. Right, we're currently down in the drop zone then as we head out for our second run. Still 6.5 minutes though left on the clock, and we've got a nice clear track in front of us. Team just saying we've got 1 lap of fuel, which is exactly what we want to hear here. But yeah, fingers crossed we can find a couple more tenths. At least now we've got a lap time to chase as well. Back down in towards turn 1. This will be our last good lap though here in Q2. That was a much better run through the first chicane there. Quarter of a second up already there, pretty much 3 tenths as we head out of the first couple of corners there. So that was finally getting that first chicane all nice and dialed in. As we head down in towards the second chicane, the purple actually, through sector 1 there. Again, ride the curbs on the entry, try to avoid the one on the exit. We're finding more and more time just by trying to be smooth, trying to be careful with the car. Don't try and push it over the limit. As we head now down through the Lesmos, that was pretty good. Still 3 tenths up. Oh, just dipped the wheel in the gravel trap. Luckily, it doesn't cost us anything. Must have just been right on the edge of the tyre there. Wishing we had 9th gear as we head down in towards Ascari. Oh, a little bit of a trim of the apex there as we took a bit too much curb, broke a little bit too early. 4 tenths up though as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. Half a second up as we head in towards Parabolica. Seems so easy on paper, but can be very difficult to get hooked up there. Such a late apex through that final corner. Really let the car run out wide on the exit of the corner there. It's going to be half second up. Is it going to be good enough for Q3 though? P5 for now, but we'll see if everyone else can go any quicker there. That felt like a really good lap. So at the end of Q2 there, it is good enough for a Q3 appearance here. Daniel Ricciardo, the first man down into the 16s this weekend there. That is a mega lap time from McLaren there, who again, just trying to close down that gap to Mercedes at the top of the championship there. But I think that's our first Q3 appearance of the year there. And I mean, Schwartzman, yeah, was only a couple of tenths off as well. So fingers crossed he can have some good race pace as well in the car. But yeah, let's dive in then. Q3, where can we stick this thing? Right, well, we are only going to get the 1 shot then here in Q3 for the Italian Grand Prix. Let's make it count. There's definitely a good opportunity to put ourselves on the 3rd or 4th row of the grid here. But obviously it will depend on how much everyone else can improve as well here. One final lap of this 3.6 mile circuit, the Templar speed, like we said. Let's see what we can do. Breakdown into T1. That was nice. Nice back curb through part 1, and nice little wheel spin on the exit of the second part there. Try and give yourself a short run between there and at Curva Grande, that is turn 3. As you head up the hill ever so slightly in towards the second chicane of turn 4 there. Purple again through sector 1. Really seem to be able to get that first couple of corners hooked up there. Oh, a little bit too much curve though on the exit. That's going to cost us a half-tenth or so. Into the first Lesmo, down into 4th, back up into 5th on the exit there. Use all the exit curb. Brake at about 65 metres for the second part there. And again, use all the exit curb as well. That felt pretty good. Avoid the gravel this time round, as times are still tumbling for the rest of the runners here. Track temps starting to drop though as we head in towards sector 3. Brake at the 100 metre ball there. Try and keep the car just inside the curbs there. Not brave enough to really lean on them too much. On the exit of Ascari there, the back end tried to kick out, but luckily we got on the power early enough, and the tyres just had to grow up and point us in the right direction this time. Final corner of the lap there. Down into 4th, back up into 5th on the exit there. Really, like we said, use all the runoff on the exit of the corner there. Shortest run to the line. You watch the clock tick by. It's a 17.3. Where does that leave us?
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Hamilton, Ricciardo, and Lando Norris. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, Hamilton then did pull it off in Q3 there. 1:17.008 leaves him on pole position by quarter of a second. But out of nowhere, P4 on the grid for the Italian Grand Prix there. That is by far and away the best qualifying session we've ever had here on F1 at 2021 so far. They're mixing it in with the McLarens and the Ferraris there. You love to see that at the end of qualifying. So very, very hyped with that lap time. Let's dive in to the Italian Grand Prix. I don't want to speak too soon, could our first podium be on the cards? Probably should add in all the excitement there. I might have forgot that Baku happened, so it wouldn't be our first podium, of course, in Formula 1. Let's get into it nonetheless.
It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes, and with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Mr. Monaco, Charles Leclerc and Tsunoda, Russell, Verstappen, Gasly and Carlos Sainz, Perez, Stroll, Fernando Alonso and Ocon, Bottas, Lundgaard, Nicholas Latifi and Guan Yu Zhou. They've taken a grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin and Robert Schwartzman. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Italian Grand Prix. And I need a start like we got yesterday at Zandvoort. We cannot mess this start up, Matt. We need a good clean run down in towards turn 1. We can't afford to lose any positions there. Not too sure, didn't really know our teammate was having so many reliability issues. Obviously needing a new power unit this weekend. So that's a little bit disappointing to see that he will be starting right from the very back. But maybe, just maybe, Might open him up for driver of the day here today as well then. But of course, having to do soft mediums this weekend there after making it through into Q3 for about the third or fourth time, I think, ever in this series. But there is a big, big chance here today. Let's jump in to the Italian Grand Prix here from Monza, waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is a long old hole, but it is... I've done it again! I've done it again! I've accidentally nailed another start on F1 2021.
Somewhere on the ICE, be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Not a fan of that message though as we head down in towards turn 1 there, as I make a little bit of contact with both of the McLarens as we head out of the first couple of corners there. But how on earth have I managed to accidentally do that twice in a row here on F1 2021 there? Not too sure what the ICE issues are with the car as we have a look to the outside of Lando. Strolls out of the Grand Prix as Lando completely squeezes off the road. Let's have a look what happened to Stroll as we try and rejoin all the way down in 8th. Well, I can't really see what happens to Lance Stroll. He just seems to pull over instantly in the Grand Prix as the Aston Martin gone up in less than 2 corners. As, yeah, you get nice footage of us trying to get back on the track there after Lando Norris cut me off. Yeah, really not a fan of the McLaren's antics there at the start of this Grand Prix. Let me know your thoughts and feelings of that one down below. Felt like he was slightly later on the brakes and just tried to Charles Leclerc me. Holy moly, this first lap has been eventful. Have we got away with no damage though? I think we have somehow in all of that. So somehow, yeah, very, very lucky in that situation there. But Lando Norris clearly wanted to maintain his role as the young British upstart in Formula 1. Hamilton, though, fastest lap at the end of the opening one here. Ricciardo and McLaren, of course, very, very strong around these lower downforce circuits. Of course, won the Canadian Grand Prix last season. But yeah, we're in a bit of no man's land already here. We need to get our head down and focus. We're going to have to use a lot of battery early on in this Grand Prix. Ideally, we need to get back inside the DRS range.
Enable this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Yeah, we need to get back in the DRS range of these guys if we want to get dragged along by them. That was brave in towards turn 1. We do just to go get it hooked up though. The gap was almost down under the 1 second mark, but we're going to lose a bit on the exit. Already a battle starting to form in front of us there as Charles Leclerc trying to dispute, I think it's 4th place, with George Russell in his Aston Martin. Have we got the DRS? No, we just missed out this time round, but we did go purple again through sector 1. No idea how it was so fast through there. Lap after lap, but fingers crossed as the gap just goes up a little bit as they all DRS each other down the straight through the twisty bits so we can close back in. Bit of a wobble on the exit of Ascari once more there as again Charles Leclerc having a look towards George Russell here. We've got to try and get within the 1 second of Tsunoda, and I think we just about have this time round. Whoa, lock the rears on the way through the final corner though. We might get the DRS, but we've definitely lost a bit of time on the exit. Right, now we are firmly nestled back in the DRS window of these guys in front of us as we try and get a good run at the final corner. I've definitely drained a lot of battery though early on in this Grand Prix. As we head back down towards turn 1 though, George Russell and Charles Leclerc, yeah, this battle is going to rage on throughout a lot of this Grand Prix. We're watching 2 guys that I'm sure will see battle for world titles in the future there. As George Russell right around the outside of Charles back down towards turn 1. It's like watching a battle from the future this. We got Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, George Russell. Would it be unfair to say Lando Norris way up the road in front of them? I mean, I guess we've also got Tsunoda there as well. And of course, a fake driver from a fake team, but still interesting. Definitely feel like we're hanging on to the coattails of these guys, but certainly not making any forward progress against them this early on in the Grand Prix still. But yeah, I think Ricciardo though has just tried to pull off a move on Hamilton. Don't think he's quite pulled it off though. But yeah, just still sat looking at the back of the other Ineos Mercedes. Owned still somehow by Yuki Tsunoda. No driver changes, I don't think, at the halfway or at the driver transfer window. Bit surprised to see that, but I thought, yeah, honestly, I thought Tsunoda was going, and I wouldn't be surprised if Perez had been dropped by Red Bull as well. Tsunoda out of nowhere has just got the gap on me, and is now looking past Max Verstappen down round Parabolica here. Don't think he's quite going to be able to pull that off. Yeah, look at that, Tsunoda's just absolutely mugged Verstappen off at the final corner there. He's taken me out the DRS range as well. How on earth has Tsunoda suddenly done that?
You'll be on the mediums.
Russell and Leclerc, though, still going hammer and tong back down towards Stel 1 at 1/3 race distance.
10.2 seconds.
Why on earth at the moment would we care about the gap to our teammate, Jeff? But Russell and Leclerc have not given up on this just yet, which puts us back inside the range once more. There is only one possible explanation as to what's happened now in this Grand Prix. Hamilton is under threat from both McLarens, so he has told the team that Tsunoda needs to come up there and be a bit of a rear gunner for him. And now Tsunoda's suddenly found something in the other car there. Mercedes are giving him all the power or something like that, I don't know. Apparently they rigged last season according to a lot of you guys. But yeah, Tsunoda is on the prowl, as Verstappen is certainly far more vulnerable in that Renault? That's an alternate timeline for another video, but yeah, Verstappen in that Red Bull still not looking as fast as, of course, all the other guys in their Ferraris and Mercedes-powered cars. There goes Charles Leclerc again, though, on George Russell. Tsunoda tries to get involved. We're going to send it up the inside of Maxi Boy, though. Saw a bit of contact from the guys up the road there. That was a good little move, though, if I do say so myself. Heading down in towards the end of lap 10, though. Verstappen trying to have a bit of a look up the inside once more there, as I've just noticed. The engine warning light of doom has come on in the car there. There we go. We got Leclerc and Russell as well into the pit lane. Max Verstappen follows him in.
This lap, give us the best in lap you can.
And Hamilton and Ricciardo also into the pit lane there onto hard tyres, so not too sure what's going on there, why they don't think the mediums will work. But now Tsunoda and I need to work together on this lap. And hopefully...
Robert in the pits.
Hopefully now try and get a bit of an overcut on these guys. Well, it is Lando Norris who currently leads the way. Might be just for the singular lap in this Grand Prix, but still not bad from the McLaren driver there, as we're desperately trying to hang on with Tsunoda. So we head through the final couple of corners. That was a bit twitchy from the car there, but we have made it through in this lap. Yeah, it's not been bad by any stretch of the imagination there. Purple through sector 1 as well. Wonder how many times I'm going to say that by the end of this video, but out of the final corner, down towards the line. No idea why they've implemented that new damage change on the HUD. The HUD flashes up now every time any tyre hits over another 10% in the Grand Prix there. But Norris onto mediums. Tsunoda even is going on to mediums as well here. We're also going to be going on to mediums in this Grand Prix. There is a swarm of cars fly back down the pit lane there. Almost getting the jump on Tsunoda on pit exit there, as Schumacher stays out for another lap in this Grand Prix. Here comes Leclerc and Russell though, so we haven't made any gains on them. Verstappen is still right there in the mix as well. Verstappen might have actually got the job done on us, as we almost go into the back of Tsunoda there. Back through turn 1, Verstappen tries to cover on the exit. Gets a dump truck, a wheel spin there, and we do get back past the Red Bull. But we've lost a huge amount of time to the guys in front. Oh, a load more cars now back into the pit lane here, which has allowed the top guys to be freed once more there. But yeah, really not good for Max Verstappen and myself. We were both kind of hanging on to this battle. As our Russell and Leclerc again side by side towards turn 1. We will do the same with the Red Bull. Daringly late on the brakes though, but we've done what Verstappen did a lap ago back through turn 1. Luckily though, he doesn't do what we did. But yeah, just losing time hand over fist to the guys in front. That's pretty much now at the halfway stage of this race. Oh, Verstappen. There was no chance that was ever happening there, mate. You can't just try and send it through the second Lesmo. He's going to lose a lot of time from that, but it gives us no sparring partner and no one to help us try and DRS our way back up to these guys. While these guys battling so hard in front of us has allowed us to get back in with the DRS range there. Tsunoda around the outside of George Russell, though. Is he going to be able to pull off the move there? Oh, there's a bit of Constantina and up as we kick out the back end on the exit of the corner there. But Tsunoda has done it. He has now got past the Aston Martin and Charles Leclerc as well in his Ferrari. But I don't think he's really going to be able to get away in this Grand Prix at the moment there. Back round through the final corner. Russell trying to look back round the outside of the man who he's trying to fight for that second Mercedes seat against. Yuki Tsunoda, though, it's going to be a drag race back down towards turn 1. And I think George Russell might have pulled it off there. He's going to get some DRS. No, he's not. Who's got the DRS? Look at that. It's like NASCAR back down towards turn 1. They're 3 wide from the AI, though. Tsunoda gets completely just pinched in the middle as we're just sitting back and watching.
DRS will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out. We can work on a fix remotely.
Could that happen at a worse track here on F1 2021? I was literally just about to say in this final third, I think we need to start attacking the guys in front even more. But that is so annoying. DRS failure. Hopefully the team will be able to get it sorted. We'll have some DRS again in a few laps, but now we're really just going to be hanging on in. Verstappen's into the pit again in this Grand Prix. Why on earth's Verstappen pitting? With just 8 laps to go here as again Tsunoda, Russell and Leclerc go 3 wide through turn 1. But yeah, what's Verstappen got planned? Surely that's not going to work for him. I'm really praying this DRS comes online with just under 7 to go here. Definitely feel like we've been able to keep these tyres in slightly better nick than the guys in front with all their battling. We could try and go for a late slice and dice through the order, but again, that's a big if whether this DRS will come back up. 5 to go. I think DRS is back online now. Now we can try and push in the later stages of this Grand Prix. We need to try and see now if we can get back up to the rear of Tsunoda. And then really just be aggressive late on in this race. We need to try and make some moves. I've been sat watching this battle for so long in this race. Hopefully now we can get something out of it. Come on, we need these guys to start battling again. Charles Leclerc got close to George through the final corner. Is he going to be able to get a run back down towards turn 1 with 4 to go here from Monza? Let's wait and see. We're going to drain the battery again. Just trying to use a bit more of it lap after lap after lap here. And there we go, Charles Leclerc having a look to the outside of George back in towards turn 1. They've had a couple of laps of their calmness, to be honest, as Leclerc makes the move. Has to give Russell the room on the exit. Just bunches us all back up there and no positions made or lost by anyone, unless...
13.9 seconds.
Still pulling away from our teammate here, but Russell trying to push Charles Leclerc towards the grass, in towards the second chicane there. Now Leclerc might have pulled off the move. No! Oh, as we almost ran to the back of Tsunoda there. We've definitely got better rubber than these guys. Oh, one of the Ferraris has gone round. What's happened to Sainz? Oh, it wasn't Sainz. It was our teammate Schwartzman as he looped it by himself. Oh, man. Just after he renewed his contract there, and there might have been the sniffer points this weekend. But Schwartzman's looped it by himself. That you hate to see. Well, I don't hate to see there was this run back down towards turn 1 there. Look at that, Tsunoda trying to make it 3 wide in towards the first corner there. And George Russell might have lost 2 positions in 1 through turn 1 there. Yes, he definitely has. We can't make it 3 though, so we just get way too much wheel spin on the exit of the corner there. But now we might be able to get a good run in towards the next chicane there on the Aston Martin, draining the battery. Russell goes defensive, Schwartzman into the pits around the outside of George Russell, and he has lost 3 positions in 1 go there, as we're now up at a 6th place. Right now Charles Leclerc is going to be defenceless as we head back down in towards turn 1, so if Tsunoda can get a run on him, maybe we can try and capitalise on this, just like we did with George Russell. Just 1 lap ago here. Russell, though, is certainly not giving up on this just yet, as we head back down towards turn 1. Do not count him out of this battle, as Tsunoda clean past Charles Leclerc before we even get back in towards turn 1 there. The Ferrari just doesn't have the same top end speed as the Merc there. Tsunoda now into 4th, but we'll have to sit back in 6th for now. Less than 2 to go here from Monza. Oh, we've got yellow flags out, I think, with 1 lap to go. Not too sure who that was, but I'll be honest, I'm not really too bothered either. So we head in towards the final lap then of the Grand Prix. Tsunoda now might just have done enough to try and hold on here in this Italian GP for P4. But we're still going to try and give Charles Leclerc a run for his money there. The Ferrari fans will hate to see it. Maybe Leclerc can do something to get a bit closer to Tsunoda once again.
Final lap of the race.
Final lap, though, of the Italian Grand Prix, and we're closing in on Charles Leclerc. So we head back down towards turn 1. Not close enough to go for a send this time round, though. But taking a lot of curb through turn 1. Can we get a run on the exit there as we try to put the power down as early as possible? We're going to drain the battery in towards Curva Grande here. See if we can try and get any sort of run on Charles Leclerc. We saw Amber Hamilton when he tried it in real life a couple of years ago. Leclerc defensive, but way too late on the brakes. That's going to put pay to that. Didn't want to make contact with Charles Leclerc there. Russell gets back past as well. You hate to see it. We were pushing so hard towards the end, but yeah, just knew as soon as we went on the anchors. We tried to outbrake Charles Leclerc there. It was never going to work. And that is heartbreaking. I mean, it's still going to be good points here in Monza unless something else dramatic happens in the 9 stages of this race there. Russell now trying to apply the pressure to Charles in through Ascari for the final time here. Ricciardo, though, wins again for McLaren there. I'm sure they're very, very happy with that. They're 1 and 3 means they make even bigger gains on Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. Tsunoda P4 in the end. Russell won't be able to get another run on Charles Leclerc there. Leclerc holds on for Ferrari at the end of the day. I'm sure they'll be happy to see that bottle job from ourselves. But P7 in the end will take the points.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure, and no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Guan Yu Zhou gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Italian Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo, once more the Australian, taking another race victory here to add to his collection. Just beating out Hamilton by 0.2 of a second at the checkered flag there. It must have been a mega battle at the top throughout the race. I honestly thought Lando Norris was going to do it after pitting onto some softer rubber later on in the Grand Prix there. But Tsunoda 4th as well means it is Mercedes-powered 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. But McLaren half the gap to Mercedes at the top of your championship there. Charles Leclerc 5th ahead of George Russell and myself there. Gasly and Zhou get AlphaTauri a double points finish there. Guan Yu Zhou 18th to 9th is a very, very good race done by him in the AlphaTauri there. Carlos Sainz being Ferrari also got a double points haul there at the end of the day, beating out his fellow Spaniard of Fernando Alonso and Bottas as well in the Williams, just missing out ahead of Esteban Ocon there. Max Verstappen down in P14 there. Sergio Perez down in P20. A horrible day for Red Bull there, losing out to the Alfa Romeos and the Haas's there. And Schwartzman with that late mistake down in last place there. Lance Stroll, the only man not to make it to the end. Still not quite sure what happened. Just had to switch the car off after 2 corners of the Italian Grand Prix there. But it does mean championship-wise, Hamilton's gap's cut down to 57 to Daniel Ricciardo there as McLaren solidify themselves in P2 and P3 of the championship. Who will finish where? We will have to wait and find out there. George Russell re-jumps Lance Stroll, though, after that good result there. We're still sat in P8. A little bit of no man's land, but I'm sure the Astons are coming for us late on in this year there. Tsunoda jumps Carlos Sainz as well, though. Guan Yu Zhou jumps our teammate Robert Schwartzman up into 14th place as well. There are constructors-wise, like we said, yeah, the gap down to just 9 points at the top of the championship as well. That AlphaTauri making big strides away from Alpine as well this weekend. You'll love to see it for them as well there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow ready for the Singapore Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the support of our channel members. So a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David Bennett, Ben Meekins and Aiden C97 for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured in these little clips, click the join button down below.